Hey, I'm Chris with MavRealty. Let's see what's behind this door.
Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to Belleair Market.
I am here today with Chris from Belleair Market. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's also always nice to meet another Chris.
That's right. There's a lot of us. Fairly common name, huh?
Right, and we won't tell anybody about the secret club where all the Chris's get together.
We get about once a week or so, but we won't divulge the location for all you non-Chris's.
Get out of here, non-Chris's. Let's start off with, where are you from originally?
I was born in Texas. I grew up in the Dallas area, moved into Florida back in '85. Graduated high school, went to USF for college, and then ended up moving over to this side of the bay.
So what originally brought you to this area?
Coming out of college, I got a job. Happened to move me over to this side. You know, I was at a point in my life where I needed to find a business where I could sell wine, retail, really wine and cigars is what I wanted to stay in. That's what I'd been doing for the last 18 years of my life, and I wanted to continue doing it. When I found this business for sale and I knew what I wanted to do, and I decided to go to some friends and family to raise funds to be able to buy the business and set it up the way I wanted. I wrote a business plan and I put it out to a lot of my fraternity brothers from USF and to friends and family, and it was tough raising money. It was, but I found one. I was at a fraternity event and I gave it to I gave a business plan to a few people, and one of the people was Bruce Van Fleet, who is a fraternity brother from many years ago, and he read it and he gave me some comments on it and said, you know, I like what you're trying to do, and he kind of said, yeah, it might not be for me, but I'll give you any advice you want, and maybe I can help out a little bit. Well, the next day he calls me and he goes, I was reading your business plan more and I really like it. And he said, I don't think you need a bunch of owners and a bunch of investors. I think you need a partner. And I said, well, Bruce, did you have anyone in mind? Because I'd love to have a partner. And he goes, yeah, me. He's like, I'm retiring, and I think he said in a week I'll be retiring. And I always like to stay active. And he said, I'd love to work something out with you. He's a very unique individual, and he's been a unique partner as well. He has been, without him, I would not have been able to do this business. He and I have gone through the ups and downs these first 6 years. We brought Julie on 2 years later, and she has been an instrumental part of the day-to-day, the catering and the marketing. But, Bruce is really, him and his wife stepping up to help me out and help me to start this business is the reason we're ready to start it.
So what do you love about this area?
It's small. It's it's not like a small town, but just this local Belleair area with Harbor Bluffs, Belleair Shore, Belleair Beach, and Belleair. It's all just like a local town. It's got that small town local feel. People say it's got, they get the wrong impression of the people here. They think either because they've lived here a long time, they're older, or they have old money or old family money. They think that it's just kind of a rich area, people that kind of are selfish and just care about themselves. But I found that to be just the opposite. I have all types of people who come in here and shop, people who have been here for 40, 50 years, people that come from money, people that don't. But most of what I have here are just good people, good hearts. They have always wanted a place where they could call their little neighborhood corner store.
Right.
And that was our goal when we opened this place, and we were lucky enough to have been able to achieve that.
So describe your business. What's unique about it?
I think what's mostly unique about it is the feel you get when you walk into this place. We are a business, but we also have a goal here to treat people a certain way. Regardless of profit, regardless of the money, is we want people to come in, feel at home, feel like we care about them, feel like part of the family. It's kind of a throwback neighborhood corner store. People walk into this place and they say, wow, this reminds me of a place up north when I grew up that I could ride my bike down to and buy a pack of baseball cards or get a soda or something like that. And even though I do a lot of wine and cigar business and beer, we also still do ice cream and candy and sodas. And kids come down, ride their bikes after school. They'll sit here in the chairs we're in and hang out. And it's a comfortable place, it's a safe place, and it's a friendly place. So I think that's what separates us.
I mean, just even the curb appeal, like you got that bright mural on the side, these positive messages on the, I don't know what you call them, parking stoppers.
Yeah, and our parking bumpers. Julie, who's part owner with me, she one day had seen either something on the internet or some kind of story about a store that had just painted their parking bumpers with just positive messages. So we started thinking about that. And one of the most stressful things that everyone complains about is driving. So we thought, let's let people, as soon as they drive in the parking lot, let's change that attitude. They come in, they pull into a spot that says, hello, beautiful. But there's all these different just messages, affirmation that tell people, hey, regardless of what's going on out there in your life and what you've been doing for the last few hours, just relax. Come on in. It's pretty good to be alive. It's a pretty good world, and you're in a good place.
What products and services do you offer?
So, I told you we started out wanting to do beer, wine, and cigars, and my idea when I came in was to get rid of the food part. I had no experience in with sandwiches or chickens, and so I said, I'm going to get rid of that part of the business, and I'm going to focus on wine and beer. And I think that's where my background is. That's my strength. But from the day I got in here, I had customers coming in saying, all right, first thing, you got to hire Tony back. So my first order of business when I came in here was I hired Tony back. Tony came in and he recreated the Cuban sandwich for us. It's a secret ingredient that we use for the sauce, which I think is a huge part of it. But another part is just everything we put into that sandwich. I mean, it's all top-notch ingredients. So I said, all right, we're going to go into the food a little bit. And one thing led to another, and I ended up having to hire a full-time chef, and then a second full-time chef because business was so good. And we followed that same idea that you put quality ingredients in, put your heart into everything you do. You are proud of what you do, and you don't skimp. And so we did that with all our food, and next thing you know, people wanted everything. We put a commercial kitchen in here. We developed a catering business. These are things I never wanted to get into, never had any interest in getting into it, but the community has told me that's what they wanted, that's what they needed here, and we just kind of follow along. We grow our wine business. We've started a Belleair wine club. We've grown our cigar business. Every day we just, someone new walks in the door and maybe there's something different we can do for them. So we make it happen. We still do convenience items. We do quite a bit of grocery items. We do a full deli now with boar's head meats. I keep everything very competitively priced with the wine and the cigars. And it's kind of just the way we run the business. We give people a good product for a fair price.
Touch a little bit more on the wine club.
So the wine club is a wine of the month club, where we have a few times a year we'll have a social event open to just wine club members. We call it the Belleair Wine Club. Basically, you don't have to pay to join. I send out an email every month with my selections as the wines of the month. I usually pick one white and one red. I ask my wine club members to commit to as few as 2 bottles a month, but they can opt out of any month they want. There's no pressure. There's no requirements. The best thing about the wines that I pick is I'm very, very particular what I pick. I taste a lot of wines each month trying to pick the right ones. My criteria is it's got to come in below $25 a bottle. And I got to be able to save my customers anywhere from 25 to 50% off normal retail on those bottles. So it's wine that I stand behind. that I myself enjoy and I've tasted several times to make sure it's consistent and it's good, and that I can save them some money.
Tell us more about the catering.
We started out just doing platters of our Cuban sandwiches. So people would say, hey, can you cut up 15 Cubans into quarter-sized pieces and put toothpicks in them and give them to me for a party? So we started that way, and then we gradually went into offering some of the other foods that we currently make on platters or in dishes or in quantity. So after a while, Julie said, all right, I'm going to take over the catering. She's actually got a background in catering. She said, I can do this. I can put together a menu. I can build a website. I can create a catering program. So we did. I tell everyone that one of the coolest things about our catering, other than everything tastes good, it's from scratch. Our two chefs are phenomenal. But every catering order that goes out of here, you get Julie with it. So Julie is going to put it together. She's going to make sure it's done right. If you want to, she will come to your house and set it up. She'll decorate the tables. She goes from taking the order to delivering the order. She does everything in between. So it's something you don't get from the chains. You're not going to get a bag of food. You're going to get someone coming into your house and setting it up for you and making it look good. It's going to taste good. It's going to be hot. It's going to be ready to eat. And the other unique thing about our catering is we do a lot of off-menu stuff. So people come in and they'll say, well, I see you have this on the menu, but can you make this for me? So I go to my chef and say, can you make this? And the answer is 99% of the times, yes.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. We'll do it for you. We can supply wine with the catering. We have a good wine program with our catering where we'll give you plenty of wine. You're never going to run out. If you don't use it all, you don't have to pay for it.
Wow.
So there's unique things we can do because we're a unique store. Catering has been a huge part of our business for 2019. We do weddings. We do funerals. We'll do catering for 2 people. We'll do catering for 500 people, and everywhere in between.
So y'all are super involved in the community. Tell us a little bit about that.
Hand in hand with what our kind of mission was here when we came in here was to be a part of the community. It started out where we kind of looked for, all right, what charity do we want to be involved with? So we're going to pick a charity and say, all right, this is what we're going to put our name behind. But then as it kind of developed, we would get different customers coming and asking us for different things. The cities involved, Belleair Bluffs and Belleair mainly, with a little bit of Belleair Beach, and they would come to us and say, okay, we're having this event. We think it would be a great event for you guys to be a part of. So we kind of started with the city events, getting involved with the Belleair concerts in the park. Anytime there's any sort of events honoring military, we like to be a part of. And then we started moving in towards more charity events, but they were more, instead of national charities, they're charities that have local flavor to them. We get involved with Gracie's Big Splash, which is it's a great local charity. We get involved with the Martinis and Matisse, which is another one that's is a great event. We've been do a lot of work for the Clearwater Free Clinic. We do a lot of other little things, but the ones we really get actively involved with, we probably do something about once a month where we're participating with a local charity. You make your living off of people that live in this community. So any way we can give back our time, especially our time and our energy, then we do that. We were thrown into some community events when Hurricane Irma came through 2.5 years ago now. Not even knowing what we were doing, we came in to open the doors after Hurricane Irma, and there was a line of people forming behind us to come in and shop. We had no power. We had no generators. We didn't know if we had any food left because the freezers were down. But it turned out that thanks to Julie's quick thinking, she pulled a grill out from my house, and we just started grilling all the food we had in our freezer as it thawed out. So as it would thaw, we throw it on the grill. And 5 days later, we had served 2,500 or so meals. And people weren't homeless. People hadn't lost their homes. They hadn't, they had things to eat. They didn't have hot food. They didn't have cold drinks. They didn't have ice. So it was a fairly tough time, especially for some of our older residents who didn't really know how to get someplace. So we came through that, the Hurricane Irma time with just being a lot closer with our community. It was like a tailgate party in our parking lot for 5 days. We ended up feeding for free all the first responders and all the Duke Energy people who were out here and the people who traveled from out of state to get our power back on. We had a lot of our community would come and donate money to us to help feed those people. So they wanted to do something, and this was kind of a way for them to do something as well. They would come and give a couple $100 to say, hey, make sure you feed the workers, make sure you feed the police and the fire and the medics. And so it was kind of cool. It was an outlet for everyone to come and get their frustrations, get some food, and have share a little bit of this neighborhood spirit that we have here in Belleair.
So what is your favorite item that you sell here?
My personal favorite is the wine. I love wine. I think there's so much there's so much that you can learn about wine, especially where it comes from. You can learn about the small villages in Europe that are base their whole economy on wine. You learn about California and how the wildfires can affect the product that ends up getting to you 2 years later. So there's a lot. Wine can be very interesting, but really, if I had to look at overall from my store's perspective, we enjoy the people that come in looking for a meal. They might be single. We have people who've lost loved ones who come in and they don't want to cook for one person, so they'll come in and we'll find a meal for them. The community that comes in, I love to sell them wine, but we really get, I think, the most. I think you feel the best when someone who's alone comes in and they know they're getting a good hot meal, maybe a meatloaf and mashed potatoes tonight, and they're going to go home and have a good meal.
Yeah.
So I think as a store, from everyone's perspective in here, I think that's what we like to do best.
Well, Chris, thank you for having us today.
No problem. I'm happy to do it. Thank you. Thank you for having us, and thank you for being a part of the community here and for what you guys do.
This was awesome hearing the whole history of Belleair Market. As someone that I come in, I won't say I'm a regular, but I come in a lot.
You're a regular.
I'm a regular? I'm a regular. But highly recommend, if you haven't been in here, come in here. Meet Chris, meet Julie, meet everybody that works here. Get a Cuban because they are award-winning.
Award-winning Cuban.
The award-winning Cuban. And ask Chris what kind of wine you should get.